really nice spin bikes.
Yeah?
That became the world's most expensive clothes rack.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Brad with Despite Fitness, and today we're gonna do some benching. Hey, come here. What's that? She's running. She doesn't want to be part of the online experience, apparently. Anyway, yeah, so we're gonna do some benching. It should be a pretty good day. I'll have to check my numbers because I actually don't know what I'm supposed to hit today off the top of my head right now. So I gotta go check that out here in a minute. But doing some benching, looking for probably about 4 sets of something. I think maybe a 6 or a 7 rep range. Should be in the ballpark of like 375-ish. Yeah, I got Tim here. Tim's hanging out. We got Dan over here. Dan's hanging out. Normally, we like to go for runs before we train. Today, decided not to train. I slept a little funny, and I got like, my lower back's all weird on me now, so it's like, I got the sciatic nerve pain down my knee, and it's really uncomfortable. And then,
Dan took out the
poor old Tim probably fractured his big toe, because fucking Dan had it out for him.
My name.
So Dan over here just whittling away at the competition, just fracturing metatarsals. Yeah. So anyhow, it's good times. But yeah, so we're gonna do some training. Hopefully, with my lower back feeling the way it's feeling, hopefully today it isn't a big issue. I don't know what these guys are gonna hit, but it should be fun. We got Brooke too. Brooke's gonna train. Sup. So yeah, so it should be fun. Hopefully you guys will stick around and maybe we'll have some interesting stuff for you. Let's find out together. Here we go. Okay, so what I want you to do is with your feet planted, try to push yourself right now, slide yourself off the bench. Okay, so that feeling of that drive of the legs, I want you to have that feeling the whole time, right? So when you're benching, you should be driving with the legs like that, as though you're gonna push yourself off the end of the bench, right? So like what you're gonna be doing is you're basically digging your shoulders into the bench and planting them, and then you're driving to give yourself that pressure up here, so that you can apply more pressure to the bar. So reset.
Okay.
Good. Now we're gonna do a bench. I want you to give me like 3 or 4 more reps.
Okay.
But I want this time focus on the legs, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Good. Tight legs. There you go. Good.
Do I redo it every time or just hold it like that?
Keep them tight the whole time. And now come down where you've been coming down. Good. 2, 3, good. 4, there you go. Good. Rack. Good. So that tightness, that's one thing we're gonna work on for this iteration, is that leg tightness, okay? It's in a quarter.
Oh.
Hello. Greetings and salutations. I hope that you guys are enjoying the video. I'm enjoying the training session. It's nice. Yeah, it's good. It's good to build a community and like, you know, get your friends involved and stuff, right? So like a lot of people talk on the channel about their training setup and where they are and what they have, and you know, I know that a number of my viewers all train at home and many train alone. But honestly, like having people around really makes a huge difference. You know, if you can create a small clique, you know, 3 is a good number. So we were talking the other day how having 3 of us is kind of a nice training number, because it allows like me to rest. One's training right now, the other one's performing a spot. So it's just good. It's good numbers. So, you know, if you have the opportunity to be able to meet with people and train with people, it really makes the workouts a lot different. Driving those legs. All right, so stack up on those shoulders, okay? So you remember how we talked about that?
Yep.
So the idea is like, you know how you ever watch, before you get ready to set, you ever watch a snow plow?
Yeah.
When it's plowing snow and the snow kind of piles up and then folds over, right? That's how I want you to imagine on your shoulders, right? I want you to roll up onto your shoulders almost like a snow plow pushing snow, like it's gonna topple over. But of course you never are, right? But I want you on that precipice, right? On that edge, high up on your shoulders like that. Good. Pinch those shoulder blades together as hard as you can, right? So what you're doing is you're retracting the scapula down and in. So that scapular retraction, keep those shoulders back. Keep the scapula retracted. And you don't want to protract the shoulder. You want to keep them retracted, yes?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So big breath, drive of the legs. Good. Tuck. Good. Drive. Tuck. Good. 3, 4. Now stop. Breathe. Reset. Do again. Drive. 2, one more. Rack. Good. Alright, so now you see the process. You see the process for that breathe, right? So that's how I want you to practice. So if you have to breathe, I want full stop, reset as best as you can, and then go again. Instead of these half breaths.
Yeah.
Because the half breaths, you're just giving up position. You're just giving up position. And like you're not really doing yourself the benefit of getting a big breath.
Right.
And so it's counterproductive. Like you're getting some oxygen, but positionally you're sacrificing. With that, at least you're set up. You got the shoulder blades pushed out. Breathe back in, reset, and then drive from there. So that's not this half-hearted movement. And the power. Did you just feel the difference?
Yeah, that felt great.
The power that you had there was so much different than the set before. Now, granted, it's lighter, right? We're 185 versus 225, but the explosivity that you had in that drive was far superior to what you had previously. And really, what do? Breathing, right? Like interstitial pressure, or what do they call that? Inter-abdominal pressure. So that inter-abdominal pressure allows for you to stabilize, right? So you stabilize the chest cavity, you stabilize everything else, and the only moving piece is what you want to move. So in powerlifting, or really in any lifting, any unintended movement is loss of power. So you see people doing the happy feet or whatever else, they're bleeding energy. It's like having a fist fight on ice, essentially, right? So if you can't get the grip in the ground and be able to deliver power, you're just losing energy. So that's what we did with you, is tighten you up so that you're not bleeding any energy other places, and then you can focus power where you're trying to deliver power, which is essentially to the bar, right? To the bar. And then we can go over some finer mechanics later on, bar path and such, but like right now, we can make up so much ground with just some of the positional
I
stuff.
think the body,
Right.
the breath.
Yeah, that body. Cool. It's good.
That's good.
It's like twins, like twinsies. We're like identical twins, basically.
A little bit smaller. All
right, so that's the video, guys. That was actually, you know, I don't know if you guys have noticed this at all, but I don't really have a plan on any given day when I roll into these videos, right? Like, I basically just kind of capture my training, and then the workout kind of unfolds however it unfolds. So sometimes there's an opportunity, there's a really good talking point that kind of comes up, and I can work that into the video, or work that into the session. But generally speaking, like I don't have a plan. I don't do any scripting. I don't do any storyboarding or anything like that. Everything's just kind of extemporaneous, right? Just right off the top of my dome, and the day just kind of unfolds. And I really like that format because for me, it allows anyone that's out there, anyone that views these videos, to kind of see what it's like to train with me, to talk to me, to be around me, right? So like, I genuinely believe that you guys get a pretty good sense of my personality and who I am from what you see, because there's no scripting to this. It's just, everything just is what it is. And I like the fluidity that lends to the videos, right? Because it just feels very natural for me to just kind of do whatever I'm doing and not have some major talking point that I got to try to get to, or or build up to, or whatever. It just kind of unfolds. And so today was a great day because, like, as I said at the front end, I didn't really know what was going to happen in terms of how the session was going to go or what we had planned. And interestingly enough, today was supposed to be a deload, right? So I totally screwed the pooch on that by not deloading at all. In fact, what I did is I jumped ahead to the weight range of what the next working day or working week would be. So I worked to that intensity and then stuck with the same amount of volume. So I did not deload at all. And then in fact, when I was going through and I was hitting 405 today, the program next week would call for 405 for 4 sets of 6, I believe. Four sets of 6 reps. And so I hit 6 reps on the first 2 sets, and then on that 3rd set I was feeling kind of randy, so I went ahead and went for 10 and hit 10 on that 405, which is only the 2nd time I've ever hit 405 for 10. And then on the fourth set, I hit it for 11, which is the first time I've ever hit 405 for 11, and that felt pretty good. So I'm really ecstatic with how the bench training is going. And I guess that maybe that's another point of lesson for you guys too, is just to consider that even if you're dealing with or you've sustained an injury in one area, it doesn't necessarily mean that all of your training is going to be sidelined, right? So I'm still coping with my groin or my leg injury, and so my squats and my deadlifts really haven't done much of anything, which is kind of inadvertently why I decided to kind of push ahead with the bench training, because I don't have the same stress accumulating from the squat and the dead that I would normally have. And so my squat and dead days right now are pretty light stuff. And so that allows me to kind of recuperate and not really like push myself into fatigue. So I felt like I could go a little bit above and beyond on the bench, where normally if all things being equal, if I wasn't dealing with an injury, I would absolutely have to take that deload and take the knee, take the easy week, because I'd be pushing hard on the squats and the deads. So just consider that as you kind of reflect on this workout and why I'm doing what I'm doing. It is purposeful. It's like it's not an accident for what I did and why I did it. I had my reasons. So I only say that to you guys so that when you guys are plotting out your own training, just make sure that you're doing things for reasons, right? Like we want to train for a purpose. We don't want to train just to be good at going to the gym. We got to have a reason, right? So then to kind of circle around, had Tim hanging out. Also had Dan and Brooke in today. Dan had to peel out early because of some obligations, and Brooke's not feeling very good, so she went inside, has a bit of a headache. But great training day from both of those two as well. Dan did really well, hitting up to I think 190 for some rep work, which was pretty good. And then Brooke really getting familiarized with the bench, so that's good. Just continue to work with her and kind of build that momentum for her and get her familiarized with movements, which is really good. And then kind of come back around. Speaking of familiarity and speaking of patterning and whatnot, those are some of the conversations that we had for kind of you and what you do. So it might be beneficial to kind of tell them, kind of what your experience is and how you feel, kind of how you were doing things, and then what, if anything, some of the changes and recommendations that I've made, what those have meant for you and how those feel.
Yeah, it's a super unique opportunity. One, coming off a shoulder injury, trying to get back into it, and then 2, being able to train with Brad and have that expertise that actually makes a huge difference on the training going back into it. So I went down lighter weight, and I came in today, being the second time I did chest with you. I was like, you know what, let's just go ahead and fix the little knickknacks now. Let's go ahead and straighten that out. So then as I climb away, staying focused on body position, mindful of my hands, grip. I was changing all that the first time. So
Yeah.
It was the very first time we didn't, and then you started giving me pointers, and today you kind of sealed it home. You were like, hey, let's go lighter weight, let's do clean, solid reps, and it felt great. Today my shoulder didn't hurt. I feel it, but it didn't hurt. Like it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna have to ice this tonight.
Yeah.
So that gives me the confidence to grow from here.
Yeah. So it's, if you have some deficiencies or you have an injury like he's dealing with, a shoulder injury, making some of these corrections isn't necessarily going to make everything perfect, but we can definitely start moving things in the right direction. So for him to say that like he felt it, he's aware that, you know, the shoulder, you know, it reminds him that, hey, you're still coping with something. But he was able to move through the movement more comfortably than before. And that's a critical thing, be able to fix the posture, fix the positioning, get himself into a better position. And we spent some time and energy kind of off camera talking about it. And I know that I've harped on it before, so any of you that have been with the channel for any period of time have heard me kind of say it over and over again, but you can make a lot of really great improvements to your pressing power or your, you know, whatever movement, right? Squat, deadlift, bench. You can make a big improvement on your weight moved by just improving your mechanics rather. And so once you get the mechanics piece of it down, then it starts to become more and more refined in terms of like smaller adjustments. And really, I don't think there's ever a point where you're just done making adjustments or you're done kind of like whatever, right? So just understand that wherever you are, kind of in that flight path of your own strength journey, like you're going to continue to make tweaks and alterations as you go. I'm still making tweaks and adjustments to my squat. There's been some stuff recently that I've been kind of working on with my deadlift. So like even now, you know, weight training and competing for, you know, 20 years, I'm still making adjustments as I go. So it really is a lifelong journey. There's never going to be a point where you're just totally done, because then too, like once you get to a point where your form is pretty good, you'll start to build up musculature, and then you're going to build in imbalances in the musculature, and then you might have to make accommodations for those imbalances. So it's going to be this constant, you know, game of adjustment. So just understand that as you guys, you know, continue on your own strength journeys. All right, so I don't mean to belabor the end of the video here, but it's good to kind of recap and talk about what we've done and just kind of close it down. So I'd like to do this. You guys can help me out. If you're still here at this point in the video or you're still watching this, you know, leave me a comment in the comment box below. Let me know what you guys think about these kind of wrap downs. If you do spend any time and energy watching them and listening, if there's other stuff that you'd like me to touch on, or, you know, just other things that I can do with these videos, or, you know, ways that I can address the video that might be more palatable or consumable for you guys. Okay, so that's it, guys. I'm gonna close it down from there. Aside from, you know, critiques and feedback on the video and things like that, or things you guys might want to see in the future, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns about anything that we've talked about or addressed in the video or that you've seen, you know, leave me a comment in the chat box below. I'll be sure to respond. I really do want to thank every one of you that's joined the channel recently. I really appreciate you finding the channel and sticking with us. It means a lot to have you with the channel, and I really do appreciate that. If you guys have seen more than 1 or 2 videos and haven't subbed up yet, I'd appreciate if you decided to stick around. That'd be great to have you. So consider sticking around for a while. I'd really appreciate it. Remember, guys, no matter what it is you think you can't do, like, you know, making subtle tweaks in your bench or whatever movement and being able to improve your performance, you got to get in and train to spike. You're either going to find an excuse or you're going to find a way. And I hope that you guys continue to find the way. Thanks for watching, and I appreciate you guys being here with me. We'll see you guys in the next one.